Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Explosive Expressions. You're here with Xavier and I'm here with my special guest, Nigel Martin. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is the mayor. This is his nickname. If you don't know why, get hip. All right. Fresh, not even fresh. No, straight out of Cleveland, Ohio. Who is Nigel Martin?
Uh, to describe myself in a brief perspective, I'm just a loving, caring, genuine dude. Obviously, basketball is like my main thing I do. It's my favorite hobby, and I just love being around my family and my loved ones. Low maintenance.
Chill guy.
Yeah.
Chill guy. Super chill guy. Let's kind of go over, because obviously, you did not start here at Indiana Tech, so let's go through a little bit of your career. Let's start off in high school. Then we're gonna go to the college level, and then kind of what the future has set out for you. So start with high school.
For sure. So I started out high school at John Hay High School in Cleveland, Ohio. It's kind of like right outside downtown Cleveland. It's a school that's known for academics. It had like 3 different floors, and I was on architecture and design, so I kind of focused on that. And I just had a huge love for the game. And my freshman year, halfway through that season, I kind of started playing varsity a little bit. I played JV a little bit. I really loved my JV coach. Shout out to Coach Parker. He actually came to senior night here. So, yeah, he showed me a lot about the game at a young age. And I was there for 3 years, started getting a little buzz, scored 1,000 points, and I knew it was time to go somewhere else where I could have a better opportunity to play in college for free. So I transferred to Cleveland Heights High School. Travis Kelce used to go there as well. So
okay,
yeah.
all right. I mean, we got Travis Kelce and we got Nigel Martin. Okay, like A1 or A what is it? 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take that.
So kind of like a little bit of a similarity with my high school career. I started at school for 3 years and then transferred my senior year. A little jealous that you scored 1,000 points, obviously.
Sure.
Don't leave that be before I got hurt. I was close, but it's being at a school that was mainly focused on football and volleyball. The basketball aspect, it kind of got a little bit of buzz, but not as much as kind of it should have with the players that we had. And,
for sure.
Some of the other players that was also on the team also transferred their senior years. And the school I was at, Oaklawn, love y'all. I love Marist too, but Oaklawn, they really embraced me, and I felt just so comfortable being there. I was, just doing my thing before I got hurt. But
yeah, I have a similar story to that too. Like my senior year, transferring to Cleveland Heights, I want to say me and maybe like 5 other guys transferred there, and we people thought we was gonna win states. One of my teammates that I played with, he transferred there the same year as me. He plays at UNC now. Jalen Withers. We had a lot of dope dudes. Manny Hill, shout out to Manny, Rob, and all them. So we had a great squad. Our games were super packed, like wall to wall. Not every game, but most games were sold out. The whole city was there. It was the best experience, and I knew that I wanted to keep feeling that atmosphere. I knew that I wanted to go somewhere and continue to get that love. So.
Yeah, definitely those packed out games, and I can attest to that. Being from going to Marist to Oaklawn, Marist stayed when I was there. The only really packed out games would be the main rivalry games, like the Marist versus Brother Rice. That's the main, like the Battle of Pulaski. They got like they have like a whole trophy.
Wow.
Like with the street sign on it and whatever.
That's dope.
Some other games like Mount Carmel and like just some like the other schools, but besides that, we wouldn't really beat nobody at the games. Now with Oaklawn, they would have a little bit of buzz, and it would be a little bit more packed games. Like the one game where I kind of went off, it was against the Mount Carmel team. It was the championship game of the Little Thanksgiving tournament, and just some games that I wish I got to play in. Yeah, like against some in conference and outer conference rivals. I was just especially the one that I was trying to come back for to play in, and I got like that was like my final like little injury right before. But that the games, the atmosphere, it definitely attests like it makes you play better. I feel like
I love those atmospheres.
Like it's either you thrive or you just kind of shrivel, and that's where you really see.
Yeah.
But all right, let's kind of get into your college career. All right, let's where did Nigel Martin start off at?
So I started off my college career at Shaw University in Raleigh, North Carolina, a D2 HBCU in the CIAA conference. I have nothing to say bad about that school. I loved my experience there. Had a good time. I put up some good numbers as a freshman. I won Rookie of the Year as well. So I started my college career greatly. I can honestly say that.
And then sophomore year.
Yep. So I ended up entering the transfer portal after my freshman year there at Shaw, and I had some big opportunities, but COVID happened, and those kind of went out the window, and I ended up having an opportunity to go to the number one JUCO at the time, Vincennes University, that won the national championship the year before, and I played there the COVID year. It obviously didn't count. I learned a lot there. It was in the middle of nowhere, Vincennes, Indiana, with an old school coach, an old school program. And I just learned a lot there, like even outside of basketball, just about myself. I really had to hone into the work. You're not having a lot of fun or going out, or I don't go out that much, but like not even going out to a park. It wasn't much there, so just really focused on the game of basketball there. So
okay,
yep, that was my sophomore year.
Okay,
junior year. I ended up leaving there. It's crazy because I left there. I went back there because the COVID year didn't count. So sophomore year again, basically. I left during preseason. And a lot of people don't know this. I actually was out of school for some months. I left during the school year. I withdrew from all my classes because the situation, I really didn't. The situation wasn't for me anymore. It didn't benefit me anymore. Yep. So I went home for some months.
Okay.
Went home for some months. Kept working out. Was trying to figure out my next step. Obviously, I knew I was going to play basketball. I always know that I'm gonna be back on the court. Ended up taking some visits some places because I had D2s and JUCOs that recruited me my freshman year after I entered the portal. So took some visits, and I ended up going back to Shaw University.
Okay.
People don't know that either. I know you don't either.
Yeah.
Ended up going back to Shaw second semester. They were trying to get me to play, but I wasn't going to use my year. They had like a half a season left.
Yeah.
Got my credits, went to class. School was getting paid for. And then I ended up going to Santa Fe College in Gainesville, Florida.
Okay.
JUCO, D1 JUCO in Florida. Had a cool year there, but I reunited with a guy who was my trainer when I was young. First guy that ever trained me on a basketball court. He just happened to live in that city too and had a coaching job there. I reunited with him. So my game went to a whole nother level there. I was with him every day, during the day, at night. And it just took me to a whole nother level on the court. And after Santa Fe, I came to Indiana Tech. And the work that I put in there was the reason for how I started out at Tech.
Man. And obviously, if the people don't know, this man, very first game, how much was it?
31.
31 against IWU.
Yeah,
top NAIA team in the nation. I mean, he, for maybe the good first few games, he was averaging at least 25. And I can attest to that because I was there. I witnessed all of his games, just while being there. And then obviously he had a very serious injury. I remember that like it was yesterday. Kind of restraining myself from running out on the court. Like it was like no.
And I don't mean to interrupt you. Shout out to you for helping me walk off the court, man.
Yeah.
That's something I'll never forget. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I remember, grabbing your headband, putting it in my pocket real quick. It felt like a whole movie scene, like, man. And then, you put in that work. We kind of going. Matter of fact, let's get into that.
Yeah, for sure.
The whole rehabbing process. I want to know was like, because I had an ACL injury,
Right.
ACL and meniscus. So you had Achilles.
So yeah, I fully ruptured my Achilles. 9 games into the season, and man, the journey was crazy. Honestly, it all just started with me. Obviously, I had a little hiatus before surgery, and I got surgery, and I was home for some months, just watching the games, tuning into the game. Still couldn't walk. Had a big boot on my leg. I actually had a boot with some type of monitor on it and tubes. It was just tough, man. Like I had to put the bag on my leg to shower and all that, and it was tough. Eventually, I got through that process of it, and I started rehab, small steps. I remember for the longest, I was trying to walk without a limp, but like my leg just was straight. Because, the Achilles is
it's like
right in the back of that foot, so I had to learn how to re-walk again. And man, the process was tough. So I went through that part of it, the second phase, and then I kind of start jumping around a little bit, but it was just long. It was long, but it was worth it. And it taught me a lot as a person outside of being an athlete. It taught me a lot about myself.
Yeah. Definitely injuries definitely make you realize like how like appreciative you are of the game, how grateful you are to play basketball and be so skilled. Obviously with my injury, I was naive because at first I don't think I tore my ACL. It was just a hyperextension. And it was in the rivalry game. I did like a Derrick Rose hop step, and like whatever on the way up, it was like hyperextended. And then a week later, I was trying to come back to play against an out of conference rival, and like my mom, I'm sure she'll watch this, and my dad, they both were like, "No, chill. You can sit out that game. You can sit out the Christmas tournament, and you'll be back, and you'll full like be back to yourself." And I was naive. I was like, "Nah, I can come back." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't gotta sit out. Like, I've never had a serious injury before. Like, I've had I've rolled my ankle. I've little bumps and bruises, but I've never had a serious injury. So like, I was like, I can come back. I'll be all right. And they was like, you know what? We'll support you, but be careful. And I came back one practice. I felt it should have been my sign that like I should like whatever. One of my teammates, he got hurt during that practice. Like I was like kind of like just doing the drills. He got hurt, like dislocated his kneecap, and a whole bunch of stuff. Shout out Sean. But then that next practice, I'm like kind of like they're kind of giving me. They're like, all right, you can get in there a little bit. And I get a bucket, come down, and I'm like about to play some defense. And the way we switched, it was like we essentially we're not like high fiving, but it was like so that they don't split that switch. So it was like we kind of like keep our arms out, and I didn't like step on the foot or anything. I just planted, and I was like trying to like release off that leg, and my knee like twisted. Yeah. So I think that's what kind of got me. Like as I was like laying there on the floor, I was like, I should have chilled, and then later down the line, I went to the doctor, got an MRI, got the blood taken out of my knee. Well, actually, kind of, I know I'm jumping around, but in between there, I was rehabbing without even knowing I was rehabbing. I was just working out my knee, just like working out, just getting stronger. And I already kind of have strong legs, and that's what kind of like the doctors and people say. And I got an MRI, and I was rehabbing. I was practicing with a knee brace on. I was dunking, doing a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah. My dad was like, "Yeah, don't practice today." I'm like, "Why not?" Like, I'm getting back in the game shape. And he sent me the little document, and it had a whole bunch of words on it. I'm like, "You gotta dumb this down for me. Like, I don't know all these big words. You gotta break it down." He was like, "Yeah, you tore your ACL and a whole bunch of stuff." Yeah. And I'm like, "What? Tore my ACL?" Like, I feel fine walking around, jumping around. Wow. And kind of fast forward a little bit, went to the doctor. They like did the little knee test. They was like, "Your knee's strong enough you can finish the season with a brace." Wow. So I was like, all right, like, bet. I had a game that night. So like, wherever we're going through it, and they gave me a new brace, like right there. I was using another brace because I felt like the brace I was using was getting loose because my knee wasn't swollen anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like I felt like it was getting loose around I had to keep adjusting it. And they gave me a new brace. It was kind of more around my knee, but I had a weird feeling about it, like off the rip. And I warmed up with it on, but I was telling myself like kind of after the first possession of me getting in, they subbed me out. I'm gonna just put the other brace on.
Yeah.
I didn't start. Get in the game. I had the brace on, like 3 up and downs. I get it still. If I would have known this was gonna be it, I would have dunked it.
Yeah.
Go up, lay up, try to land on my left leg as much as possible, and this leg just on the landing just gave out, and I just knew right there. I was like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
I knew I was done, but definitely the rehabbing process it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough mentally, emotionally, physically, obviously, but it's worth it. Like,
yeah, it's worth it. Another part of the process that I feel like is underrated and goes overlooked is like when you make it through all that, when you start walking again, then you start jumping and running again, and then you get back to the sport live. Mm-hmm. For me personally, that was a whole nother process as well, because I haven't played basketball for a year, so now I'm doing things and it's not feeling the same. And
I know what you mean.
yeah. So that process was another process in itself too, and it really helped me as a basketball player though, because you got to make adjustments, you got to be smarter on the court, not relying on athleticism as much until you become comfortable with doing everything. So.
Man, because I remember that first practice where they kind of gave you the green light. And obviously, we run a lot here at Tech, but it was like the first like sprint, and you was on the baseline. It was like, all right, Nigel, like whatever. You was gone.
Yeah, bro.
You like flew up and down up the court. It was like, ooh, look at him. He back.
Yeah.
And then obviously you started the year off kind of. I won't say coasting because you didn't play yet.
Yeah.
And then you got the green light to come back. And it, from my point of view, and obviously me being probably, not to sound kind of whatever, me being like one of your biggest fans outside of your family, supporting you, and me knowing everything that you went through, you and Blake, but because Blake had the same injury as me, but just seeing everything that I know that you went through and the battles you went through, like. Just during the year, man, that's why I was saying vintage.
Yeah, vintage.
Because it was like you was doing stuff. It looked like you. I mean, you wasn't parallel to the ground shooting fadeaways.
Yeah.
But you still had that fadeaway. You still had the shot. You still had the defense. Still, obviously, super strong. Probably stronger than last year. But,
definitely.
it was really a sight to see. So I kind of want you to kind of go into this season. How do you think this season went for you, for the team, and just
So I'll start with the individual part of the season. I felt like the season went well for me. My number one thing I just wanted to make sure is like I didn't want to be too hard on myself, because I had to realize like I'm coming off an injury, and I just didn't want to be too hard on myself. And I started out like that, but I started out on a minute restriction, and I just wanted to take baby steps. Like, I wanted to get to the rack. I wanted to get to the line. I wanted to shoot my pull-up and wanted to feel good. So I just took baby steps, and as it went on, I feel like I had some good games. I was producing. I impacted the team in a way that everybody needed me to, and I felt good about that. And by the end of the season, by the last game, like, in all honesty, I felt great. And I looked back on it. I looked back the first game I played, and I looked back to the last game, and I just analyzed myself, and I was just proud of how far I came, man. So, that's what I can say about that. And then on the team aspect of it, like, we had a good year, man. So we got the cutting net, season conference champions. I feel like, we all do as athletes. I felt like we could have went farther, but the brotherhood that we built off the court, man, like one of the most best things I've been a part of. So what we got out of it is like a lifetime of relationships, like Coach always says, and we can never take that for granted. So that's what I can say about the season, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely special. Obviously, I would love to share the court with you.
Yeah.
Obviously, some things didn't go kind of according to plan. I could say, but it's it was really special being able to watch you play. Kind of, I try to dissect players and try to what they got in their duffel bag. I try to take a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I told you from the one clip on this past summer that I did kind of your move.
Yeah, I seen
and
it.
I was like, because I was like literally I had in my head, I was like, this is something that Nigel do. Or I'm about to do something that Nigel do. And then I got to the spot and it worked.
Yeah.
And I was like, try to dissect everything, especially being in practice, having to guard you, Blake, Brady, or someone like that. Just I feel like that's one of my strong suits, like being able to diagnose and to see
That's dope.
the move sets that people have. One thing I do want to, before we kind of get to your future, how long have you been doing your like little celebration? Now I know it might not be a celebration; it might just be second nature to you.
For sure.
But when you you just put something on your story, you tap your heart, point it up.
For
and
sure.
I would do it with you.
And I started to see that. I didn't even have a conversation with you about that, but I started to see it when I would just watch myself on film. I would see you right there in the back. So that's love, bro. But I started doing it my senior year of high school. Me and my dad, we got a great relationship, and we kind of just would always talk about like just staying humble and just giving the glory to God. I'm big on my faith, so that's something I wanted to do after every time I scored, because obviously I'm on the court and I'm scoring, but God gave me the health, the ability to jump, run, to recover from injuries that I've been through. And I started that in high school. And like I said, our games used to be packed. So people see it. I know people see it, but I don't do it for that. But I just want people to know
like what that's for.
I'm giving the glory to God. So I just took it everywhere I went. And people notice it. And it's good. It's good. It's good. Like, if a little kid in the stands, if a little kid see this, I hope that he can, have something he do. So that's all it is. It's about that for me. So
yeah, I mean, obviously, every kid or every player wants to have their signature thing. And obviously, I feel like your signature thing, aside of your fadeaway and how you score, it's definitely the little celebration you got.
I appreciate that.
So I definitely have peeped it, and obviously the team peeped it. They like, that's his thing.
Yeah. But
for future, your future, what do you have kind of in place, or is there anything in place? It's just like, what are you looking at?
Yeah. So as of now, my future is to continue to play basketball on a professional level. I've been talking with the coaches and like my trainers and people outside of here that can help me. I have a couple of friends that play overseas, and I just been like picking their minds, trying to get in touch with their contacts and just trying to get the best situation for me. Whether I'm talking about agents or the league I play in, just the best situation. So I've been staying ready, praying a lot on it for direction, and that's where I'll be. I'll be somewhere doing the same thing. So that's where I'm at with that. And then obviously I graduate in May. I'm looking forward to that because it's been a long journey for me personally. And I just want to be a light. I want to be an advocate for the youth. That's something I really love doing. I worked with kids in the summer. I worked a lot of camps and stuff. So I'm going to just continue to do the same things I've been doing once I graduate and go from there.
Yeah, I mean, definitely would, I'll try to be there for graduation.
Yeah,
obviously.
for sure.
And no matter where you go, obviously I'll be watching. I'll
Same here, bro.
Try to keep up.
Yeah.
With what you got, going on. With professional or wherever you're at. Because aside of kind of outside of basketball, but outside of basketball, but because of basketball,
Right.
our relationship, has grown. We go to the same barber.
Yeah. Yeah.
We talk, and I gave you feedback this year and last year of
Yeah.
what I see
Mm-hmm.
for you, like being your extra set of eyes.
Yeah.
I try to do that with everyone on the team,
Mm-hmm.
but for you it's kind of like an extra, like you hit him with a behind the back, and then a
Yeah.
crossover, he gonna go that way,
Yeah.
get to your spot, or
And it worked
try
a
to
lot
get
of
away.
times.
Yeah, try to
Just
try to
coming
get you
back.
going.
Coming back from, to the sideline from the game and getting that advice from you, it worked. And that's one of the things. So I'm like a sponge, bro.
Mm.
I soak up information, whether it's like an OG, an older person, my parents, somebody younger than me like you, because you sitting there watching me play. So you see things that I don't.
Mm.
And that's one of the things that helped me in my career, just making advancements on and off the court, just listening to people and getting their viewpoints. So I want to say I appreciate that over these last year and a half, 2 years. So
Yeah, because I try to do it because I enjoy when people do that for me.
mm-hmm.
Like sometimes I can be in my head too much, but whenever I calm down, or if I'm not already in a certain mood, like being a sponge is
Yep.
definitely, like, it helps as an athlete, no matter what sport you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Just being a sponge, being able to take criticism, whether it's harsh or soft, like
Mm-hmm.
just being able to take criticism is like almost like a gift, almost like
Yep.
you gotta be able to take criticism so that you can apply it in the game.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, the career of
Mm-hmm.
Xavier Martin. Obviously, I'm looking forward to seeing where you end up going, what you end up doing.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you got me in your corner,
For sure.
along with
Same here, vice versa.
along with the rest of the Martins. I know I'm kind of
Yeah.
down the tier list,
For sure.
but that's all part of family. Family is
Yeah.
definitely a big part of why we play. And
Mm-hmm.
it was one game where I was like, man, anytime your mama here,
Yeah.
you go off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
For
that's I love to see that for you, because I get to experience that with my family.
Yeah.
So it's definitely nice to see that for you.
I appreciate that, bro.
So, I mean, we can talk a little about kind of your some personal hobbies you have.
Yeah,
like what,
for sure.
like, outside of basketball, what does Nigel do on kind of like a regular day, or like the weekend? Or, yeah.
So I would say number one for me is music. I love music. I love listening to music. I can listen to it day and night. So that's number one. A hobby I picked up when I got injured is reading. So I try to read a little bit, different books that interest me, that can help me in any way. Like I said, the sponge, just trying to get much information as possible. And man, I'm a big chill guy. I like to cook now.
Okay.
I picked up that hobby too. I'm staying in my apartment out here. Like, I've been trying different meals.
What's your favorite one you made so far?
Favorite meal I made so far, my go-to as well, I would say the salmon, rice, and broccoli.
Okay.
Yeah. So, man, outside of that, I love being outside in nature, taking walks. I done been in a few parks out here that I just found on my own. Going out, putting different clothes together. I like dressing and taking pictures.
Man, I mean, we could talk
Yeah.
about the fits.
For sure.
Man.
Yeah. So that's definitely a hobby of mine, just shopping. Like, I can thrift too. I like thrifting sometimes, ordering online. Yeah, man, just exploring, getting out in the world, seeing different things.
Now with the fits, because obviously on your Instagram, and obviously you just made a new Instagram
Yeah.
page, but on Instagram it's like your fits. It's unique, but not like on some like Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Kyle Kuzma was like. So I kind of want to ask you, like, because you say you like to go thrifting, and I kind of want to get into that eventually.
Yeah.
You see me, I throw on a hoodie and some sweats.
Mm-hmm.
Here and there, I like to double dabble and take it serious, I guess.
Yeah.
In a fit, but like, what's some inspiration, or like who has inspired you to like kind of get into that fit?
So growing up, like, I just obviously just watched my the people around me. So my dad, my big brother for sure. Growing up, like just watching him get ready to go out and his process of putting stuff together and different colognes he got me hip to, and him giving me watches and stuff. Like my big brother is a big part of just teaching me certain things from on the court, off the court. Like on the court, the pull up, like that came from him.
Okay.
So yeah, just watching them and then kind of put my own twist on it. Like I feel like it's just like a form of expression, like fashion. Like I don't think anybody can go wrong with what they wear. Like if you say a hoodie and jogging pants, like you like that hoodie that you got on, and you like them jogging pants. They got your graphics on it. That's your dad's brand as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that's dope in itself, right there. So yeah, it's just you expressing yourself in another way.
Yeah, I mean, because, even with this, and the whole backstory of this is like he made this brand, but the reason why he started it was for me. It was
Right.
The X,
Yep.
everything with that. But, I definitely, like, I be seeing, obviously, your fits. I be seeing other people's fits that they be putting together. I try to put together some fits here and there. Like, when I go to the mall, I try to get some graphic tees.
Yeah, it's a fun process.
Yeah,
like
when it is time for me to like kind of like be like, all right, like let me see what I got now. One thing I definitely need to kind of start doing more is getting into shoes as well.
Yeah,
because like Jordan 11s is my thing. I know I need to expand my horizons with that.
Yeah,
but seeing how you be putting together fits and other people put together fits, it's like, man.
Yeah, I like to do that. That's one thing. In terms of hobbies outside of basketball, that's up there on the list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And music, you said, like who would be? Let me see. How I want to ask the question. Like who's like your top 3 people that you will listen to regularly or right now, or like just all time, I guess.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you all time and I'm gonna give you current. All time, I love Mary J. Blige.
Okay.
That surprises people. Yeah, I see him clapping over there. My mom, I grew up on her. My mom playing her in the car.
Of course.
Yeah. So and my dad just playing music in the basement when I was young. So I got an old school taste for music, and then on the current level, also I like Al Green. It's my dad's favorite. That's one of my favorites.
Love and happiness.
Yeah. So all that music getting played. That's all on my playlist. 90s, 80s. This is versatile. And then currently, just like if I'm speaking to right now, I've been listening to Larry June. He's an artist out of Sacramento. And Coach Dre got me hip to him. Shout out to Coach Dre. Vince Staples. Been listening to him. And those are my top 2 right now. Okay. Yeah. This week that I've been listening to, it changes. It changes all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I try to dibble dabble. My playlist, I have like 4 different playlists.
Yeah.
I have a regular playlist, like almost like all my music, or like just current music. I got an old school playlist.
Yeah.
I got like a little sad playlist.
Yeah.
And then I got like a bear with me, parents, my parents especially. I have like a little racing playlist. When I'm in the car, I'm about to start getting a little jiggy and
for sure
on the road.
Yeah,
I turn that on.
That's understandable.
It gives me a little activation, but I definitely rock out with the old school. I definitely play my old school playlist a lot more than my current. Because current, I can enjoy that, but it's something that you don't really. I won't say you don't want to listen to all the time, but it's like old school you can listen to like. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta mix it up.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, kind of take me back home. Cleveland. Obviously you say you read books. I don't know whether that's true or not. LeBron, he be reading the first page.
Oh, LeBron, yeah.
Put it down. But
LeBron be capping about it. About his reading.
Kind of just the atmosphere of Cleveland, like with the sports atmosphere, like basketball, football, baseball with the Guardians, like kind of how is that? And especially I do want to ask, like during that time when LeBron was there the first time and the second time, the championships and all that, like what is that like?
So the sports culture in Cleveland is huge. is essentially a football state, but basketball is super underrated. There's so many players that came out of Cleveland and players now in college, pros that just are talented. And, you know, I've been around the world in different schools, different players, and Cleveland has some of the best hoopers, in my opinion. When it comes to that time when Bron was there, that 3-1 comeback was crazy. The city was electric. It was watch parties every game. Downtown was packed, and I was downtown when we won the championship, and it was like the city stopped everything they was doing to celebrate. Everybody was happy. It was a great time. So that's something I would never forget, and anybody from Cleveland that experienced that, they'll never forget it. So, yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I remember where I was watching it, and unfortunately, my favorite player is Andre Iguodala.
I didn't know that.
So, yeah, my favorite player is Andre Iguodala, and my dad, he calls him Stinkadala. Whatever. Andre was nice. Okay,
Yeah.
Andre was nice.
Andre was
And then
cold.
obviously, you know, got the Iversons.
My cousin Kel, shout out to you. He gonna watch this. He love Andre Iguodala too.
Yeah, you know, 'cause as a kid, you know, growing up, Duncan was, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that's kind of where I get my, you know, when I first started dunking, man, you couldn't stop me from that.
Yeah.
Like,
you an athlete, man. You got springs, bro.
And kind of a little bit, and this might be the first time, you know, my dad, I'm sure he'll watch this, but like some of my dunks are like Andre Iguodala based.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, it might be a little like, oh man, he glazing.
Yeah.
But it's like as a kid,
I understand
watching,
it.
My dad would wake me up at night to watch the highlight of him dunking.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of just fell in love with, you know, watching Andre Iguodala, watching his highlights,
That's dope.
watching how he plays. I try to, you know, copy it to a sense because I know he's more of a defensive guy.
Mm-hmm.
I try to take more pride in defense.
Yeah.
You know, obviously Iverson got, you know, everyone knows Iverson.
Yeah.
Patting it crossover, get to the rim, you know, him taking the Sixers to the championship and unfortunately losing to Kobe, Philly guy. We love Kobe. But, yeah, just hearing that, you know, which I say, and you guys say that you're a football state, but
Yeah.
I mean, the Browns, they ain't too.
Yeah, the Browns.
They ain't too.
But just in terms of like the high school scene,
Okay, yeah,
and players like going to school for the sports, football is number one, I would say.
Now, I know, or I don't know how much you are in tune to baseball, but like, kind of how was that when I know that the Guardians now, but the Indians at the time when they was in the World Series and they lost.
Yeah. I'm gonna sit here and be honest, bro. Like, I have no idea.
You know,
I was so out of tune with it, and yeah, I never sat and watched the whole baseball game in my life. That's a fun fact there. I never so
one crazy thing I will say, because that whole World Series,
I wanted them to win.
Okay,
I knew about it. I knew that they were there.
You wanted them
I
to
just didn't watch it, and I couldn't sit there and say that I was a fan and try to fake root for them.
Okay.
But I want, of course, anything Cleveland, I wanted to win.
Mm-hmm. Like, at the time, it's kind of the same thing for me. And I was in Chicago.
Okay.
At that time. So it was like, I wasn't that in tune with baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, but the people around me, they were like Cubs fans or they were White Sox fans. But some White Sox fans were like cheering for the Cubs because they kind of knew their history. And when they won, it was like the city was like brighter. It was like, oh my goodness,
It's a beautiful thing to
Cubs.
see. It's a beautiful thing to see when communities and cities come together for their team and they win, and it's just love all around. It's
man, because when them birds won, when they won the first one especially, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, like I got my hair dyed green.
That's
I'm
dope.
not, and I ain't joking. I had it green, dark green, like the Eagles, for a little bit, and in celebration, like I was, like after every time the Eagles scored, me and my dad would hug because it was like we might win.
Yeah,
and I was playing against Brady, so it was like, but we're probably gonna lose because it's Brady. Like, then that final play, it was like, oh my god, we won.
Yeah.
And this past year, they won again. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, a big blowout. But that was really special to me, and I've let that kind of take my mood since then. Like I've just always been in a very bright, happy mood. Like it's like I don't really let stuff kind of get to me because it's like you're going to Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's rare, or it was rare
for sure.
And now it's kind of like I want to say it's going to be like a normal thing. I wish it is.
Yeah.
But I know my birds. I know how they can get. But it's like for them to win 2 in my lifetime, that's
special there.
It's crazy. And like I know so many Eagles fans and so many people who didn't get to experience that, and seeing the news, seeing Philly, you know, they all come together and they be going crazy. You know, Philly fans, truthfully, we are crazy.
Yeah.
Even while I was here in the dorm, I was screaming top of my lungs every time Saquon got a touchdown, big catch. I'm standing on the table, Saquon, all that. Texting my dad throughout the game, but definitely hearing that, and I would assume that that's how it is for most sports towns. But like hearing that, how Cleveland is, especially for the basketball aspect. Obviously, I wish the Sixers.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna talk about them, but I wish the Sixers would, win one in my lifetime. I don't know if it will happen. We looking kind of a little whatever, but they've gotten close. But hearing how Cleveland is or was, and shoot, y'all might even do it again this year.
We got a good team this year too, so we'll see where we go.
Yeah, so like just hearing that is definitely like that's dope. Like just dope hearing that, dope seeing that. So yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, did you play any other sports outside of basketball?
Yeah, so it's funny because my mom kind of used to tell people like, yeah, I'm going to put him in every sport and see, which one he take on, and he going to go to school for free with that sport. And I did. But I wrestled when I was younger. I played muni league football. I played t-ball. I played soccer for like 5 or 6 years. Then I broke my arm and I never played again. I didn't break it playing soccer, but that was the time around my life. What else did I play? That's about it. But it got to a point where I was like, I just want to play basketball.
Okay.
I want to play basketball, and that's what I did. Once I got serious about it, I told my parents that's the sport I'm gonna play. And from there,
You ever? Well, I guess you did say basketball. Did you ever think of doing like track?
I did think about it, but growing up and in high school especially, like my knees were so bad. I had like a big growth spurt, and those knots on your knees, and I had Osgood slaughter. So I just didn't do the track thing.
Okay.
I didn't do the track thing. I was somewhere hooping though. I grew up hooping outside at the park. So
you play like it.
Yeah.
Like
I
you
grew
play
up
like a rec park player.
Yeah.
Like, chill. Okay. I mean, besides that, like I kind of talked about, pretty much everything really. What are some? We're gonna kind of get some random,
for sure,
some random topics going.
Definitely.
What's Nigel's favorite movie? If you need more options, we'll give you top 3.
Top three. First 3 that came to mind: The Wood, Love and Basketball, and I'm gonna say, man, I'm gonna look back at this and say I forgot one, but I'm gonna say The Wood, Love and Basketball, and Menace to Society.
Okay.
Yeah, those are my 3.
Now, aside of movies, any shows, or do you like watch shows?
Yeah, I watch TV every now and then in spurts. Like sometimes I don't, sometimes I do. But my favorite show all time, Martin.
Okay.
Martin. I could watch Martin whenever. And it's like a mood lifter for me.
Yeah.
It could be some background, just in the background while I'm doing stuff. But Martin, yeah.
All right, now food. What's
Food.
top 3 foods? Top 5 if you need.
Chicken wings.
Typical.
Salmon and rice. And then from there, it's kind of like a toss-up. I like spaghetti. I like sandwich, turkey sandwich.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me think. Basketball players.
Basketball player.
Current and all time.
This is gonna surprise some people, but growing up, it started as KD. He was my favorite player ever, and then he went to the Warriors, and it kind of
fizzled out.
I was kind of salty about that. But KD, and I used to love Tyreek Evans. That's a sleeper. Tyreek Evans. I loved watching him. He had like this mixtape on YouTube. I used to watch it all the time. He wore a baggy shirt. I used to go to the park with a baggy shirt on. So. KD, Tyreek, Bron automatically. Right now, though, DeMar DeRozan is my favorite player. He in my all-time list, too. But were we talking NBA players?
Yeah.
Okay, because I got some favorite players that's not in the league either.
Okay, well, you can shout them out, too.
Yeah, my big brother. He my favorite player all time.
Okay.
Sean. He first person that introduced basketball to me. Then I got teammates I played with like Manny Hill. He still plays. Shout out to him. Deshaun Dyson. I'm gonna forget people, so I'm not even gonna keep naming. But yeah, I play with a lot of
And like, kind of, how does I would assume it's like a proud feeling, like, because you said you got people that like are like in the the D1 level, and just seeing them on TV, like knowing that you play with them or against them, like what kind of goes through your mind, and how does that make you like feel it?
It mean a lot, like, cause I like to watch my previous teammates, like their games at their colleges, stream them, or if they play on TV, and it mean a lot, and I really like watching them because like I said, I'm a sponge, so I took stuff from their game, and I know that they took stuff from my game, playing against them in practice or one-on-ones in the summer. That stuff is like beautiful to see them doing their thing, so it mean a lot.
Yeah, I mean, especially like now, seeing a whole bunch of guys I've played with, I'm still texting here and there, or a bunch of guys I played with or played against. Seeing them playing right now, and I don't think anyone that I know is still in the tournament, if I'm not mistaken. But seeing guys like in the NBA, like that's like man, like I'll play with you at this level, and you in the league, and like I've texted them like, yo, like how's it feel? They're like, bro, it feels like a dream. And just seeing it's really proud, especially with me vouching for some of them.
Yeah.
As it pertains to my guy Jeremy Fears and Jeremiah, his little brother. He's he just declared for the draft. But Jeremy, he's at Michigan State.
Okay.
And Hobb, he's a Michigan State fan, so
yeah,
he don't really be getting whatever about Jeremy. But like some of the guys, they be like, man, Jeremy don't really be doing nothing. And it's like, well, I mean, hold on, like he's a facilitator. Like he's not like. No, I know you guys are so accustomed to scores and players like that, but it's like he's a facilitator, he's a defender. That's literally all that's all he kind of grew up doing. Like me playing against him since like 7th grade, and it's like that's all he was doing. He never really shot the ball much. That was where Jeremiah excelled at, shooting the ball a whole bunch and getting to the rim. And Jeremy, he has a good mid range. He can shoot the 3 too, and he gets to the rim, but he's kind of like a true point guard. Like he'll dime it off. He'll defend your best player. That's really all he did.
That's tough.
Like kind of coming up.
Yeah.
And with Jeremiah, I played with him. What was that my last year of AAU? So going into my senior year, played with him, and he was a freshman. He was a freshman, so he was playing up.
That's tough.
And so like he, seeing him progress and seeing how he plays then versus now, and seeing his growth, seeing like how much he's matured as a player, because obviously as a freshman, you have a certain freshman mentality.
Yeah.
Now now he's like he's doing his thing, and he went to Oklahoma, he did his thing. His parents are great. My dad still talks to his dad, and his dad always shows me love. His mom or I'm saying their mom. Their mom was amazing. She would, she would say like, "I'll give you $20 if you dunk on somebody."
That's tough.
And it was great.
Yeah.
Just seeing guys like Kim Christie or the Christie brothers playing against them, playing with them. Some guys that are still, in the like the JUCO levels, but came from D1s or still D1, like Day Ames. I don't know. He just committed to Cal, but he was at Virginia and Kansas State.
Okay.
One of my guys, Dante Maddox, he was at Xavier. He went to Toledo as well. Just seeing a whole bunch of these guys, like I've trained with them, played with them, played against them. It's like, man, and then seeing them on TV, like watching them, seeing some of the guys, put little bets on them. Yeah. It's like, man, that's dope, man.
Yeah,
it's like,
for sure.
Wow. It's like they doing their thing, like they living that, with the life that that they want, that they dreamed of. I'd be so proud of seeing them, seeing them excel, seeing them do their thing. So it's definitely cool.
That's dope.
It's amazing. And then obviously you're going to be next up.
Appreciate that, bro.
Up next, Nigel.
Yeah.
That's the reason why that's his Instagram handle. Up next, Nigel. He's going to be doing his thing on the pro level.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll kind of wrap it up there. I mean, I really do appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate you, bro.
And,
sure.
That's my guy right here. You understand?
No doubt.
That's my dog.
No doubt.
Man, so, I mean, I really do appreciate Nigel coming on.
Yeah, I appreciate you for having me. Let me share a little bit about my story.
Is there any, slogan or quote or anything you want to say to the people at home? Because I know you said it's going to be like 100 Martins.
Yeah, my family going to watch this for sure. Man, thank you to all my supporters, old teammates, family, friends, coaches, all my trainers. Shout out to Paid Dudes Basketball. Shout out to Sean Athletics. And, man, I just want to thank God for all the opportunities he gave me, and I'm giving the glory to him.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's the mayor right here, man. I can't emphasize it enough.
Yes,
it's
sir.
the mayor, you know what I mean? So make sure y'all, for all the Martins out there, all the Sulaimans, everybody who's, going to watch this.
Yep.
Tell a friend, share with your mammy, your grandma, your uncle, your grandpa, your papa. Share with all of them.
Yep. And if you see this, follow my new Instagram, Up Next Nigel. The I in Nigel is a number 1.
Yeah, make sure y'all follow him, man. He just made a new account. Did your old account get hacked or something?
Yeah. The old account is done.
Old account got hacked.
Yeah. So
make sure y'all follow him. Get him back to where he was at, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We gonna log out there. This is Explosive Expressions. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all share it, man. Peace.